welcome into U3 Sports Talk, unfiltered, unscripted, and unapologetic. I am, of course, Sean, and I got to welcome in diehard Chargers fan, SB Talk 1. What's going on, SB?
What's going on? What's going on? I know this ain't the usual setup that I usually have. I got kicked out of my spot because my niece is going to come over. I had to hide somewhere in the corner so it won't be too loud. But yeah, I brought this with me, though. I brought that with me.
It's all good. You represent from behind. No, it's all good. Yeah. Can't complain about that. But but thank you for stepping in and doing this for us, man. We got to definitely chop it up about these Chargers and really get into how the season, went down and kind of your expectations. But before we do that, just want to remind people, if you haven't already, please do not forget to like, click, and subscribe to U3 Sports Talk. When we go live, we want you live with us. Also, just got to shout out, SB Talk Sports. If you, enjoy this interview, which you will, I'm sure, please get to subscribe to SB Talk Sports for his videos and his content, because he's doing some big things on his channel. So, first things first, SB. You are a native of Chicago, proud, born and raised, everything.
Yes, sir. West Side.
Yeah, but how in the world, as a proud native of Chicago, did you, in a town with the Bears, become a Chargers fan?
The first thing first, I don't hate the Bears. So people think when you're not a fan of the Bears, you hate the Bears here, which I don't, because a lot of people who are not a Bears fan here, they like the Packers. But how I became a Chargers fan was a man of wearing the number 21 on the back of his jersey named LaDainian Thompson. He was my favorite player at a point in time, and I just rode with the team that he was with. It was even a point in time when he was on the Jets. I liked the Jets just because he was on the Jets, so I just stuck with my team. I'm a blue-collar guy. Once I rock with you, that's my team. I'm not a bandwagon guy. I respect you. I respect you if you're talented, but if you're my team, I roll with my team. And then everybody hates on the Chargers. They're the underdogs. How can you love them? How can you hate them? I might make a video about it. We don't want no bandwagon fans because we coming. We coming. I'm letting you know now. We coming. No bandwagon. We don't want y'all. Nobody. Remember, we the Clippers of the football league. So don't come over here.
Yeah, no, hey, listen, I ain't mad with you. I mean, obviously, I think LaDainian Thomas is one of the 5 best running backs ever. And again, I think, he is, if you were picking a running back from the 2000s, he'd probably be the guy you choose if you were building your all 2000s decade team. Definitely got no problem with that at all. But got to get into it, man. We got to talk about this season recap. Obviously, did not make the playoffs this year. Had some change, which we'll talk about here in a second. But just from your perspective as a Chargers fan, give me your assessment of the 2020 season.
It was a tough season, but it was a big learning curve for us because we got the one. I'm actually satisfied with our season with all the injuries we went through, the bad coaching that we went through. To still go 7-9 is pretty good, but the one glaring problem that we need to have solved with the team was solved with the name of Justin Herbert. Everybody loves Chargers fans love Phillip Rivers. I love Phillip Rivers. He was cool, but it was been his time to go. So the whole point of this season was who can we get to replace Phillip Rivers? And Justin Herbert came in through the blaze of glory, rookie of the year, well deserved. Wasn't no debate about it. So he fixed the problem that we had and coming into the season. Now after this season, we just got to be healthy, and then let's see what the new coach Stanley does. Because Anthony Lynn, he made a lot of terrible decisions, and let's hope our special team doesn't be as bad as it was. But for me, the season was a success because the one problem that we needed to be fixed was the quarterback position, and we got that on the lock.
Okay, well, I mean, that's actually a good segue into kind of our next topic. So I want to talk about the quarterback situation first. Obviously, you spent the 6th pick in the draft last year on the 3rd quarterback taken, Justin Herbert out of Oregon. Going into the season, the expectation was he wasn't going to play. They were going to give him a red shirt year. Tyrod, gets the unfortunate rib and lung injury, ends up missing time. It seems like Tyrod the last few years has been the most unlucky quarterback in terms of that in his career. But just talk about, what you saw from Herbert that gives you hope, going forward.
With the Tyrod Taylor situation, it was like you said, he's very unlucky. It was sad to see that because I was actually happy with the Chargers, coming in the year with all these narratives about black coaches and more black people need to be in higher situations. This was the one situation where you got a black coach and a black quarterback together.
Right.
And unfortunately, he had went down with the punch your lung situation. That's another reason I like the Chargers, because they're not scared to hire a black coach or put a black man in a good position. So that's another reason why I support them too. But Justin Herbert, what made me see him being the real deal? Because he fell to us, honestly. He fell to us. Because the Chargers in situation, you go take the best available quarterback that was left.
Right.
What made me know he was the real deal was the day that Tyrod Taylor was hurt. I remember this day because I was in the gym and I was watching the game in the gym. They said they told the man 5 minutes before he had to come out to play.
Right.
And you're going against the defending Super Bowl champs. And he put up a good fight, and we almost won that game.
Right.
He just made a bad rookie mistake at the end. I was like, yeah, we got us one, guys. I knew at that point in time after that game, for you, any other young quarterback ever get put in that situation, they will fold. For him to do that, he showed that, he was ready. This was big time.
Yeah, and I think it was interesting. I mean, obviously, watching the Chargers this year with Justin Herbert, it seemed like they did a great job of really trying to implement things in the offense for him in terms of some of the passing concepts that he ran at Oregon to coming in the NFL to kind of really ease his transition into the league. Did you kind of see the same thing too?
Yeah. Because once again, I think we didn't have this conversation before. Like, if you want your quarterback to succeed, you got to bring something in that, like, familiar, anything that he knows. Because the best thing for a quarterback to do is be comfortable. Because if a quarterback is any uncomfortable or shaky, you're gonna end up looking like Mr. Trubisky out there. Or how Jameis Winston throwing a lot of interceptions trying to learn something. So you got to put something in there to get them comfortable. Then, you did this step right here. You used to somebody running this route. Okay, we're going to put this here. But also, this what we do on the offense on this side. Let's put this together for you. So now he's getting comfortable. Now he's learning, okay, now he get this play. Okay, let's bring something deep into the playbook. And I was actually proud of Justin Herbert because we had a coach who was more run-based anyway. Yeah. And he was still making the right passes and dotting it up out there.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because I want to talk about the skill positions for a moment. Obviously, you had Melvin Gordon, who was there a few years. He did not resign. And then basically you go from Melvin Gordon to Austin Ekler as your lead back. You have Joshua Kelly. Talk to me about Austin Ekler and just kind of the running back room and how you feel about it as a fan.
As a fan, with the Melvin Gordon situation, I felt like a lot of Chargers fans were upset at him, and I was too, because the point is this: you set out. If you're gonna sit out, just sit out. Don't come mid-season and you throw the rhythm off of the team. You just come back because him sitting out didn't look as good as it did for him, because you see everybody else, and this is one thing about the Chargers, and I'm gonna tell you, if people who from the outside world, they was like, oh, we was in bad positions, Melvin Gordon gone. People didn't think about it. But everybody who was a Chargers fan didn't complain because we knew what we had in Austin Ekler. Austin Ekler was a great number 2, but once he actually got the reps to be a number 1, he showed out. And once Melvin Gordon seen that, it made him look bad because we didn't need him no more. I didn't cry when we lost Melvin Gordon. I was cool. Like, man, we got Austin Ekler. Austin Ekler is a great back, versatile. He's pretty much just as good as Melvin Gordon, probably better, in my opinion, if you ask me, and for a lower price. So I love Austin Ekler, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, and certainly, obviously, the standard at running back for the Chargers organization is LaDainian Thompson. There's only
that's up there. That's up there.
That's a different level, different animal. But you feel like, just from your opinion at Ekler and Kelly and Williams, you feel like that's a good running back trio to build around?
I ain't gonna lie. Honestly, I love Ekler. Ekler is definitely gonna be the number 1 guy. You could do a lot of things with Ekler. He's very versatile. Kelly, I still learning. I wouldn't mind if we could probably sneak like another young good back, maybe another like receiving type back in the core just to help Justin Herbert out, maybe in the backfield. But I'm cool with Kelly. But for number 2, I wouldn't mind if we could sneak off maybe a good one, or maybe we can get one in the draft, maybe a nice young back, because they're a dime a dozen, so you could get one like in the 6th round or something that could be good. But Austin Ekeler got to be the number 1 guy.
Yeah, and so kind of pivoting, I want to talk about the receivers and the tight ends. Obviously, I think Keenan Allen, to me, if he's healthy, he's in the conversation of one of the five
Mm-hmm.
best receivers in the league. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely, I think he's definitely a top 10 guy. And then
Yes.
you have Mike Williams, who you got from Clemson a few years
Yep.
ago, who has shown some flashes, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm a huge Hunter Henry guy.
Henry, yes.
I thought Hunter Henry is one of the better young tight ends in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me your feel and your assessment of the receiving core, including the tight ends.
Yeah, one thing I can definitely say about the Chargers is that we don't fall short of weapons on both on any side of the field, especially on the offensive end. That's a nice three-headed dimension or three-headed monster you can have with a Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Hunter Henry. I know Hunter Henry's a free agent, so I hope we bring him back because Hunter Henry was definitely good. He was big for us this year. Keenan Allen is out. It's about time Keenan Allen get his respect. Because there's a lot of people been disrespecting Keenan Allen like he hasn't. You can check the numbers. I'm not trying to be the nerdy guy, hit you with these numbers. You can go look. Keenan Allen's been there. When he's on the field, he's very productive.
Yeah.
Mike Williams, he showed me a lot this year for when the point in time when Keenan Allen was out that he can be the number one guy if he has to.
Right.
But I like him. I like him in the secondary spot. Where he's better off that way. But he shows that he can make because he made a lot of clutch catches this year that kept us in games. We lost a couple closer, but he made a lot of tough catches this year during for us. So him and Justin Herbert looked real nice together. So that's a nice. I hope they keep them together. Honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Hunter Henry. I think he's probably going to try to reset the market. From
Mm-hmm.
position in terms of his pay. And I would hope the Chargers don't go cheap. Trying to lowball him because his value to a young quarterback, I don't think can be overstated on a level. But just before we pivot away from the offense, I want to talk about the offensive line. Obviously, you got a really veteran offensive line with Brian Bulaga, with Trey Turner, Mike Pouncey, who's missed a lot of games in the last couple of years. You've had some, kind of fill-in guys here and there. Yeah. Just give me your assessment of the offensive line and where you feel like that's going, in the future.
In the future, see, right now we are in talks to get Orlando Brown Jr. right now. I'll hopefully get this trade done because, like I said, the main thing that's been killing us as a team is like injuries and people been in and out the lineup. So that's been the problem along the way. And for us to be where we was at with all these injuries, a lot of teams would be in a lottery. Like for the number 1, 2 picks if they went through what we went through. But I hope we actually get Orlando Brown because I think, like, even though, like, I know a lot of people going to say, like, our offensive line is decent, but we never really had a good offensive line like the last couple of years. You even look at it back with the Phillip Rivers times. But for a young quarterback, that is like the main asset you got to have for this guy. Because, like I said, you got to make sure Justin Herbert is comfortable. Now, he was already getting used to this one system. Now we got a new coach, new coordinator and everything. So now he got to relearn the system. So the whole point is you need to keep Justin Herbert as comfortable as possible, give him time to throw the ball as much as he can. He got the legs to move if he has to, which that's good, but we don't want him to be Lamar Jackson out there. His arm is too good for him to be a Lamar Jackson type of player. We don't need him running every day or looking like Patrick Mahomes during the Super Bowl. So I feel like they need to make every move that they can because I think off top of the head, I think our line was like ranked in like the low 20s maybe. So, and with that being said, we got to do whatever we can to get. First, one, we got to get healthy, but two, with Orlando Brown Jr. being available, we got to make that move. Maybe put a second, a fifth, into like another second from next year together and try to go sneak him off from the Ravens because he just want to play left tackle, which is perfectly fine because Sammy wants to play right tackle anyway, so that'll fit perfect right with our team.
Right, yeah. So just before we pivot off the offense, and I just want to make sure, are you absolutely okay with the Chargers making Hunter Henry the highest paid tight end in football?
I mean, sometimes like it's about your price of your location at the point in time. Like I get that he's not a George. He's coming. He's coming, but he's not like a George Kittle or a Travis Kelce. But he's still a great tight end. He's great.
Right.
Sometimes you got to pay for your location. His value was high here because if you let Hunter Henry go, who are we gonna have to replace him right now? Right off top of the head, I can't tell you. Who can we really put in that place to bring that same value that Hunter Henry brought like instantly like that? No. So we might have to pay him. And if we do, but like you got to pay the cost to be the boss. If you want to make this team great, you got to do what you have to do. Or if you better have a good secondary plan to replace him, or somebody better be ready to come. Because if we don't, that'll be a big blow to our team. And I don't think Justin Herbert wouldn't like that either. He gonna still come out and play because he's young. But I don't think he would like that, losing one of his main options.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you on that. And I think about the Chargers' history just from Kellen Winslow to Antonio, just the Hall of Fame caliber tight ends that you all have. You know, I'm not saying Henry's there, but he could definitely ascend to that level. I think if he stays in a Chargers uniform. So I want to pivot, just talk about the defense for a moment. Obviously, when you think about the Chargers defense, the first name that comes to mind is Joey Bosa.
Joey Bosa, the Bosa boy.
Just give me. I know he got a huge deal. It would seem to be well deserved, based on his production since coming in the league. But talk to me about your thoughts about Joey Bosa.
Joey Bosa is outstanding. I think he is, if not number one, because Aaron Donald, if you count on each side, but for his side, the left end, he's probably one of the best ends in the league. He put the pressure on the quarterback. I was hating to see him in and out the lineup. And I'm gonna throw a Chargers prayer in the air, because I hope it self-destructs with the 49ers and the Chargers go get Nick Bosa and put the Bosa boys together. I'm gonna put it in the air. I'm praying, because they already have been talking about playing together. And my mindset is, by the time they figure when they want to play together, whatever team is the most stable, that's where they'll probably go. And they still on the West Coast, so I doubt they might go somewhere like far in New York, So no, let's go ahead, bring Nick Bosa over with the Bosa boys. We have the Bosa boys on both ends, and we're gonna be one of the worst defenses you will ever want to play if you was a quarterback at the position in the NFL. But that's a prayer. That's just a prayer. I'm just putting it in the air. I just want to put it in the air. So we can just float, and then it just might just happen in the next 3 years, maybe 2-3 years, maybe.
So I want to put a disclaimer out here to all Niners fans watching. I did not put him up to this. If it happens, please reach out to SB Talk Sports Boys.
Please reach out to me.
Yeah, he was the one that put that out. I did not put that out.
Please reach out to me. I'm gonna shake your hand and tell you thank you, because we got both the Bosa boys here.
But just pivoting. Obviously, you have Melvin Ingram, who's been a long time Charger.
Yes,
is going to be a free agent after this season. I don't know what his ultimate story is going to be, but if I were a betting man, I'd say he's probably played his last game as a Charger. If he has, talk to me just about your thoughts about his legacy as a Charger.
Shout out to Melvin Gordon. He was definitely a Charger great on the defensive end. He definitely put in a lot of good plays, a lot of good work. I can't just say nothing but the utmost respect for the guy. And I do agree that it would be sad to see him go. But like I said, I put it in the air about the Nick Bosa, because I already know in my mind that it's going to be the time for Ingram to go, because if Ingram stays here, he's going to want an X amount of dollar, and him at his age right now and injury history, it'll be hard for the Chargers to pay him that money. And because other people got to get paid too. So it's like we might lose on him on that end. I will hate to lose him, because Melvin Ingram is nice. He definitely put in a lot of work. That's a guy you don't want to see coming at you at full speed. But he's man. It hurts me to even think about that. I was trying to avoid that side out of my head. Shiny, you gonna bring that up, but it'll hurt me to see him gone. But it's part of the business.
Well, I mean, of course, and then just want to talk about one other guy on the defensive line. Obviously Linval Joseph, who came over from the Vikings. Just give me your thoughts about Linval Joseph and kind of what you thought about him as a Charger.
Because I think he came. Yeah, I think this year, right?
Yes.
This year. Yeah, he definitely filled in a lot. I actually like Joseph. He made a lot of big plays this year. I just pretty much he fit the system. I mean, he fit our system, and then we already know future reps why we're gonna have to buff up that line. We had too much power on the line, and then dealing with injuries again, whatever. We got too much power on the line not to beef it up. So Joseph was decent for us this year, honestly.
Yeah.
not to deep into it.
Yeah, and again, I think, obviously he's on the back end of his career, so I think he's a guy they're probably going to be considering replacing either in the draft or, in free agency. But just want to pivot to the linebacking core. Obviously, if I think about Chargers and I think about linebackers, number 55 is the first one who comes to mind. One of the greatest ever to do it. But, y'all spent a first-round pick on Kenneth Murray last year. You have Denzel Perryman, who I believe is a free agent potentially this offseason. Talk to me, just give me your thoughts about the linebacking core and kind of where you saw it last year.
Okay. The crazy part about it is I predicted our draft situation when we was going through the situation. So I was like, okay, we got the 6th pick. I know we need a quarterback. Isaiah Simmons is there, at that point in time. And I literally said to myself, I said, okay, we're going to take Herbert and we need to go get Keenan Allen because we need another linebacker. We needed one. And shout out him. I think he won Defensive Rookie of the year 2. He had a great year. Keenan Allen Jr. was a beast. I wanted him in the Chargers jersey. I begged for it. We got it. Got it done. He's going to be a monster added to the core because we've been having linebacker problems over the years, in my opinion. A lot of people may be I wasn't really satisfied with it. So I think Keenan Allen Jr. is going to be the next lead horse at that position. Perryman, it's going to be – I'm going to tell you like this. A lot of people – we had a lot of names on our defensive end. Like if you're really a football head, respectfully, we had a lot of talent, name talent too. Right. On our defensive end. Like if you see the Chargers, you look on paper, we'll be a team like I don't want to see these guys in the playoffs. I wouldn't want to play these guys. The defense is gonna come to play. Perryman, he might be gone unless he take a lower contract. But I like the core that we had, but I think now we're gonna be moved forward in the Kenneth Murray Jr. era. He's gonna be the new lead horse of the linebacker core.
Yeah, and just to kind of close out the defense. Of course, we got to talk about the secondary. As you can tell, I got on the Florida State hat. Diehard fan. So I can't start talking about the Chargers secondary without talking about my guy Derwin James. I know he
Dewey.
Yeah, I know he missed last season with the injury and everything, but I kept trying to tell people when he was coming out of the draft. I said, "Listen, that dude is Hall of Fame potential." Now.
Yes. And I was happy the day when we got him. So I'm like, bro, we just got so it hurt me to see Derwin hurt right in the beginning of the year because people was like people forget how good he is and how good our defense is when he's on the field. So people forget. So I was just like, oh man, the Chargers defense. I'm like, bro, you got Derwin James and Joey Bosa on one side of the field, and you got him covering the back, and Joey Bosa coming like that defense. I'm trying to let people know when Dewey come back, nobody wants to see the Chargers. Nobody wants to.
Right. And obviously, you got a couple other young safeties, Nasir Adderley, who I was really big on coming out of college, and obviously Rayshon Jenkins, who is a free agent as well. Again, just kind of looking at how the Chargers have put things together, it seems like they're going to commit to Adderley as kind of their long-term free safety and probably let Jenkins test the market, although they may bring him back on a pretty decent team-friendly deal. But I do want to talk about the corner position because I do see that as a high need for the Chargers. Casey Hayward still very solid, still very good, but it's getting to that point where you got to find and that kind of next guy to put in the Chargers uniform. When you look at the position, just give me your where you see the corner position right now.
Okay, I had a feeling. Now I'm gonna tell you like this: with the new coach we got, Stanley, he's a heavy defensive-minded coach. So with everything upcoming, he's definitely gonna buff up the defense. He's gonna get everything we need. Like Jalen Ramsey spoke highly of him, and that's rare to hear Jalen Ramsey speak highly of anybody. So I'm definitely gonna see a big move probably coming with the corner. And I already know the Chargers are not. One thing I say about the Chargers that the Chargers are not afraid of moving somebody because of their name. Like we let go of Desmond King last year. A lot of us was mad. Everybody was mad. I was mad about it, but it made sense later on in the year. So now we gonna have to. I'd rather like to see them move for a younger name maybe because I feel like we kind of look age heavy at that position. Because now that I feel like that'll be the key thing for us to solidify our defense. Because we are at every little other spot on the field, we got like that great player or a nice young talent where we like, okay, we can work with this. The corner position is the only one where we're a little over age, and it was like I think Casey Hayward did not have a good year at all. They wanted to move him too, but he wasn't. We couldn't get nothing for him, so it wasn't worth moving him. And we're not going to cut him. We just traded Desmond King, so it wouldn't make no sense to cut him, and we'd be really in the hole at that position. So I'm definitely seeing either they're going to draft. If we don't get Orlando Brown, they're going to draft a corner, maybe try to get probably the best young corner that they can at the position, and then hopefully we work with the best. But I would rather see them maybe trade for one, but I don't really know what corner right now off the top of the head I could tell you that we can really go for without giving up too much. Like we can sneak and get one. Corners are hard to come back.
Yeah, there's some guys in the draft that I think might be available for where y'all draft at 13, but we definitely going to chop it up on that in a second. But just before we pivot from this topic, I want to talk about the special teams real quick. Michael Badgley, just give me your thoughts on Badgley.
The badge. Oh man. Okay, so if you do not know, if anybody doesn't know, we were probably one of the worst special teams this year, if not the worst special team this year. Badgley is cool. I like Badgley. Badgley, when it's time to knock it down, he will knock it down.
Right.
The problem with our special team was everywhere else. Bad kicks, bad decision making. The coach was even controlling the special team. If y'all don't know, we played Atlanta. It was 3rd and 1, 20 seconds left, no timeouts. And they decided to run the ball, not throw the ball. But he didn't even have the special team ready. So we looked like some fools with half the offense on the field, half the special teams running on the field. It looked like a circus show out here. So I just want my special team. I don't even care. We can keep the same people we have. I just want some organization with the special team and better decision making when it comes to that. So special teams, I'm gonna give it one more year with the players and people we have. I just want to see what maybe was it just the coaching and the people running the system was really the problem.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting you mentioned that. I mean, it did seem to be, a bit of a mess, for the Chargers this year, particularly at the special teams. But, as you know, we gotta talk about when you have what some would consider to be a down season. Obviously, changes happen, and the big change that happened, obviously, firing Anthony Lynn and bringing in Brandon Staley from the Rams. But first things first, I got to talk about Anthony Lynn. I thought Anthony Lynn was a very good football coach. I thought he was a coach who gave the Chargers some identity, some toughness. But certainly, if he had one issue, it was a lot of mismanagement of games late through this year. But I did give him a little bit of a pass because, again, you're dealing with a lot. I don't think any team had more injuries this year, more guys missed time than the Chargers.
No, it was 49ers. 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers. Yeah,
49ers had to beat.
About 49ers, but they didn't fire Kyle Shanahan. But that's neither here nor there. So just give me your assessment of the Anthony Lynn era as a Charger.
Okay. First of all, if anybody wanted to know about in-depth, I'm not going to go too in-depth, go crazy. I dropped the video on that. Okay, look. Anthony Lynn had to be fired. It was bad. Like, I know you get like everybody but everybody else deal with injuries. Oh, it's the black coach. It didn't have nothing to do with no black coach. It didn't have nothing to do with the injuries because Cal Henry, the way that he mismanaged the game, literally, I just brought up something. He was running the special team at the time when this happened. He ran the ball, 31, 20 seconds left at halftime. No timeouts. Ran the ball. Right. So now, if you know you running the ball, your mindset will be like everybody. If the play doesn't work, special teams run on the field fast as y'all can to get up here, which was, first of all, you shouldn't have ran the ball anyway, but whatever. And then offense, run off the field.
Right.
Everybody looked at when they got on the field, everybody looked like they didn't know what was going on. It was terrible. It was terrible. So it's like, and the sad part about it is Anthony Lynn took over special team at the time because special team was that bad. So that makes him look terrible. Also with Anthony Lynn, one is like Justin Herbert being as good as he is, even though he was pushing the narrative of pushing them in the back, like he's a backup. He's a backup for a reason. He's a backup for the reason. You know, I don't know. I'm not a football coach, but if I seen what I seen on the field, and I know he probably seen something even better in practice, because I think players probably play better in practice than they do on the field. Or you get your reps, you see him. So it's like, what was you not seeing that couldn't make him a starter? Because this man came in 5 minutes knowing he's playing through for like 200-300 yards. So that really discouraged them too. Then another problem that I have with Anthony Lynn, because like you said, Anthony Lynn is a motivator. He brings toughness to your team. He told us, I ain't gonna say us, he told the Chargers when they still was in contention to make the playoffs. This was before the Patriots game. We got blew out, and I realized why we got blew out. He told us, well, the season's over, guys. We don't have a chance to make the playoffs. But mathematically, we still had a chance to make the playoffs. So how can your main thing that you're good for is you're motivated. You bring toughness to the team. You killed that with the team. You cannot tell your team that. For me as a coach, I want you to go down in a blaze of glory to the end. It ain't over till it's over. And it wasn't over. Like, how can you tell your team that and then look surprised when we get blew out by I think we lost by 40 points, 35 to 40 points that game. Right. And I realized why, because I didn't know what's going on. I'm looking at us like, bro, we don't want to play. What's going on? Then once I looked in depth into it and then found out what happened, then it makes sense. As you as a player, if you go in there ready to play, hyped up, I walk in as your coach. Hey, man, look, we don't got a chance no more. Playoff, it's over with. You thinking like, man, why I'm here then? What's the point of me playing? So Anthony Lynn made a lot of mishaps, and then the mismanagement of games. We lost a lot of games. He gave up the most double digits leads out of anybody this year. I think it was like 7. How can you mismanage games like that? And you're a running coach. If you run the ball more, you kill the clock more. Right. So how can you mismanage games that way? So it was like it had to happen. I hate to see Lynn go, but he got another job as quick as it, because he's a good coach. But it was just too many mistakes this year, so the move had to happen. And go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're fine. No, I just I just again I won't say that him being black played a role in it. I mean, certainly the mismanagement of games and things like that did not help him long term. But I will say I thought given that Herbert came in, was not expected to start, played well, I thought it would at least buy him another year just so he could be tied to the progression of Justin Herbert. And again, I thought if you were going to get rid of Anthony Lynn, you would have brought in like an Eric Bieniemy or somebody like that. Again, a guy who you can tie to Justin Herbert, presumably long term. But they went on the other side. They brought in Brandon Staley from the Rams. When you heard about the Staley hire, how did you feel about it?
Okay, my first initial reaction was, I ain't gonna lie, I keep it real. I was like, who, why would we do this? I'm like, we got an office. I knew of him, but you get the point. I'm saying, like, who, like, I knew that he's a defensive minded, defensive coordinator just for the Rams. One of the best defenses was the best defense in the league. I'm not going to be on cap on that. Right. I would think that, like you said, we go get an Eric B, a more offensive minded guy for Justin Herbert. But right. I think the Chargers' mindset was that we went with Anthony, how good he was with Anthony Lynn, who was a more of a run coach, and he did that good. Well, let's bring up somebody to buff up this defense to get our defense on another level. So if we get our defense, we know that we have the guy who can make all the throws we need. He can run up the score if we need to. Let's buff up the defense to another level, like the Rams level, because then now, if our defense is one of the best defenses in the league, there's no Justin Herbert is above average. So if our defense be the best in the league, all Justin Herbert has to do is be above average, and we go into the Super Bowl. I think that was their mindset when they looked at it like that. So when it's looking at it that way, I think we're in a prime position, because everybody feels that if the Rams, that's why they just went for Matthew Stafford and didn't push the issue to get Deshaun Watson. They just feel like, if I got the quarterback who can make the plays I need him to make, our defense is going to carry us away. As long as he can score when we need him to score and our defense is going to get stops, we're going to be good. So I feel like it's going to be like a Rams 2.0 type defense over here. So we're going to be looking out if barring injuries, the Chargers should be a top 5 defense this coming up season.
All right, that's a bold prediction, but real bold prediction. But real quick, I don't have him on the banner, but I just want to talk about Tom Telesco, the GM. How you feel about the job he's done as the Chargers GM?
Oh man, okay. So look, right now I'm happy at the point in time right now because for the last couple seasons he has been making pushes to try to get the team better. Like we was in a push to get Tom Brady this last upcoming season. So for me, if you got a guy who's showing me that he wants to win and he knows we just not satisfied with being stagnant, that's why we have a real problem with the Bears. The Bears are just happy with, and the problem with the same with the Bears fans. Once they make the playoffs, we just made the playoffs. We just made it. People are just happy with that. So right now the pushes and things that he's doing right now, it's showing me that he wants to win. So I'm happy at the point in time. If we talking today, right now, I'm cool with him now. At the end of the day, I'm cool with him. So it's no biggie to me. I'm not complaining. As a Charger fan, I don't think none of us complaining. Maybe people on the outside, complaining, but we okay with it right now.
Right. Well, he's not AJ Smith, and that's all that really matters. So
yeah. No, he's not. No. It's not. No.
So real quick, I want you just to put on. You get to be Tom Telesco during this particular segment.
Okay.
I want you to give me just some of your roster predictions, your free agency wish list, kind of your draft wish list. I got a guy that I'm kind of targeting it for y'all at 13 in the draft, depending on whether or not y'all make the Orlando Brown trade. But I want to just kind of hear your thoughts and kind of your wish list on the draft and free agency.
I think we're talking about the same guy. We're talking about the guy on the O-line, correct, for in the draft? There's one you talking about?
If you get Orlando Brown, no. I'm talking about a corner in the draft.
Okay.
Yes.
I haven't been really paying attention to it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Only person I've been looking at was that O-line guy. But then once I heard that we could get Orlando Brown in the situation, it's like, we could go get O. I'd rather go get O because all O really want to do is play left tackle. And I look in depth into it. I think he said he want to play left tackle because of his father, his late great father, Orlando Brown Sr. Yeah. So respect to that. So you can't not respect his decision at that point when you look into that point situation. Yeah. So my free agent wish list, I hope we get Orlando. Hope we get Hunter back too.
Right.
And then, man, I think is Juju a free agent? Because I keep hearing Juju's name come up in the Chargers situation. If Juju,
I've heard that. I don't see how y'all afford Juju when you just gave Keenan Allen a huge extension. You got Mike Williams, who I think is going to make $15 million.
Mm-hmm.
And even though technically it's the last year of his deal, I just don't see how you afford Juju, Mike, and Keenan Allen all on, seemingly pretty expensive contracts.
Yeah, because I've said that was going to be the problem come up, and I feel like things have been heating up because Juju been people be playing the game. So him and Austin Eckler been playing the game a lot, and he been throwing like little hints that he wants to come to LA. But like you said, my problem is, okay, will you take a little less money? Maybe if the Chargers throw him a little more guaranteed, but a little less off the top, maybe. And I would love to have Juju because Juju wouldn't be the number one guy. We all know Juju play better as a number two guy. And we've seen him at his peak as a number two. At number one, he can't get the job done at all. Right. So if we can sneak off and get a Juju, maybe like I said, it's the wish list. If he take a little bit off the top, then I'll take a Juju if we can. And if you want to be really, really, really high, even though I know in no way in hell it's gonna happen. If we can sneak Jalen Ramsey off the Rams and bring him on the other side of LA, but we said wish list, but we know that ain't going. That ain't gonna happen.
It's a good wish, but
it ain't gonna happen.
So I know you mentioned you were looking at offensive linemen in the first round. Which offensive lineman did you think were you looking at and saying, I think this guy would be a great Charger?
I think I was literally just looking him up. Hold on, I can't think of his name off the top of the head. But
is it Rashawn Slater?
Yeah,
Slater. Yeah, I think it's a chance he'll be there at 13. I think it depends on where Penny Sewell, who I think is the number one offensive lineman in this draft, goes. People got him going as high as 2. Some people got him going as low as 10 or 11. So I think it really just depends on where he falls first, and who's desperate for an offensive lineman. But I definitely think Slater, is going to be in the conversation. Elijah Vera Tucker from USC, I think, will be in the conversation as well. Again, assuming that the Chargers don't make the Orlando Brown
trade.
But the guy I'm looking at corner at 13 for y'all is Caleb Fairley from Virginia Tech. 6'2" corner. He sat out last year to prepare for the draft, but 6'2", runs a 4.33. 40.
I'm about to look up. I'm about to look this guy because the name sounds familiar. I'm about to look him up now. I'm about to look him up.
I think he's the number one corner in this draft. I think I like Patrick Surtain the second. I think Patrick Surtain will be a very solid corner in the league, but I think Fairley's got a chance to be. He's got a chance to be special.
Yeah. See, what I would do if it's like plan Z, say if like Orlando doesn't work, because the corner you're talking about, how high do they got him on the mock draft board right now? Like where they got him going?
They got him going like 10 to 15. I mean, again, I think it's just going to be depending on how teams, decide to view his decision to sit out last season or whatever. Which again, some teams are like, "Oh, why'd you quit on your team? We're not drafting you." Some teams are like, "Well, that was a smart decision, not to risk injury, things like that." How each of those teams are looking at it, but also too, team need. If you're the Dolphins at 3, for example. When you got Xavier Howard and you got Byron Jones, who you just paid $85 million, you're not taking a corner at 3.
No.
It's not a priority. So I think a lot of it's going to depend on teams and where they had guys prioritized. I think there are going to be teams going to be reaching for some quarterbacks, particularly at the top of the draft. So he could be there at 13. Fairly could be there at 13, but I think it really just depends on how teams had their board stacked.
Yeah, see what I would want us to do. So plan Z would be obviously go take an offensive lineman first, point blank period at the position,
right?
And we take him at that point, and then go with a corner. Hold on, who was at the door? Okay, but then go take a corner, and later on in the draft, maybe whoever one is the best for your scheme, for Stanley's scheme. You pretty much like whoever is the best for his scheme.
Okay.
And then after that, cause I feel like that should be our first 2 picks: an offensive lineman and a corner, point blank period.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, listen, we're not gonna spend too much time on. We're gonna wrap this thing up, and as you know, we wrap this thing up at the call top 3 at 3. So the first question.
Go ahead.
No.
First, knocking on the door.
No, it's fine. First question I want to ask you. Obviously, you're a long-time Chargers fan.
Yes.
Been some all-time great Chargers. I'm not going to ask you about the all-time great Chargers. I want to know your top 3 most underrated or underappreciated Chargers.
Underappreciated.
Or underrated Chargers.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you was I was ready for this. I already hit my top 3. I like top 3 of my favorite. I was gonna go LT, Antonio Gates. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, underrated. You hit me with one right there. So 1, I'm gonna go with Darren Sproles. 1. Who? Number 2. Dang. Oh, you hit me hard with this one because it's a couple. It's a couple. I'm actually the crazy part about I'm gonna go on a limb and say this true. Phillip Rivers. He was definitely underappreciated. I'm gonna put Phillip Rivers.
You think Phillip Rivers is underappreciated?
Yeah, yeah. What? Yes. Sometimes I hated that guy myself. I ain't gonna lie. I did. I had to give him that because it's like during the end of his charge, the reason I'm gonna tell you is during the end of his Chargers there, a lot of us, we was ready to get rid of him. It was like it was time for him to go. But like seeing him retire, maybe it's like the nostalgia of seeing him actually go. Now I'm really appreciating him more and looking back at like we didn't really appreciate Phillip Rivers for what he did because he didn't win. That's why he don't get as much love as he did. And number 3, I don't know. Oh, underappreciated. What can I go with this one? I don't see. Look, I was so prepared for you to say my favorites. I was too thirsty.
Yeah, this is what we do.
I was too thirsty.
First thought. We shake things up a little bit. Yeah.
I was too thirsty. See, you threw me off. Underappreciated.
Let me throw a name out for you. See if I can help you out.
Who you got?
How about Vincent Jackson?
Vincent Jackson, yeah. But no, I don't feel like Vincent Jackson was really why would you say he underappreciated?
Well, I just felt like he was very good in San Diego before he obviously moved to LA. He was a guy I thought they should have fought harder to keep. But they decided, not to, and he ended up, going on Tampa, doing okay in Tampa. Yeah. But I just thought, for not just the player he was, but the man he was, and the community guy he was, he didn't really get his just due in San Diego with the Chargers. He comes to mind immediately. I'll tell you another one that comes to mind, and again, he's a Charger, also played for the Chiefs, is Donnie Edwards.
Donnie Edwards, oh yeah, okay, I can see that one. I don't know about Vincent Jackson, just because we let him go, but I feel like he was appreciated during that time. But I can see that one. I could, that one.
Yeah, I mean, okay, listen, it's your list,
Yeah. I'm gonna say then, if anything, I kind of go more current, and I'm gonna say a guy that we just talked about, unappreciated, probably Desmond King too. We just let him go pretty much for nothing. And then I felt like if anybody we should have probably kept for our corner core, maybe would have been him, but we just let him go. So I'll probably throw him in there too.
Okay, so I mean, obviously a Chargers fan, but you are a Chicago guy, so I got to ask the Chicago question.
Go ahead, I got you.
Even in line with the underrated or unsung thing, give me your top 3 unsung or underrated musical artists from Chicago.
Unsung. So you do all this unsung stuff. Okay. Underappreciated. Yeah. Okay, so who real life is underappreciated? It was a guy when I was just on your show. You brought up us Common for sure. Common is definitely underappreciated. We all know how great he is lyrically, but he doesn't get like the true, except like you feel me. He should be respected on like the Ye level if you really pay attention to Common lyrically.
Right. Yeah.
Unsung. I'm gonna actually go a rapper. Another again, Twister. Twister definitely. Twister. If you know Chicago, Twister was a legend, and still is. Yeah. But he don't get respected like how high as he should be. And the last, but at least, let me see one more guy at Chicago who would be unsung. Can't say.
You can step out of rap. I mean, you can go to the R&B. You can go, where you want.
I mean, I would say R. Kelly, but he did too much. But he ruined himself. He ruined it. He ruined it. He ruined himself.
We're gonna leave R out the situation. We're gonna leave him out the situation. Yeah.
I'll try to bring. I'm gonna bring it. Like I try to keep stuff a little modern day too. I'm gonna say, I don't know if you know. I think you probably know. You ain't that old, Sean. King Louis. I'm gonna say King Louis.
Okay, all right.
Because he had a nice, good run when he did, and then like he had the accident of him being shot, and then he was never the same. But if you go back and look, like when King Louis had his little run at a point in time, it was nice. Like he had that living down Chicago was still like a Chicago anthem.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you one on the R&B side that a lot of people don't talk about enough. Carl Thomas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You own the song right there, right? Yeah.
Carl Thomas might be a little on the underrated.
Yeah. Like I didn't even think I forgot about him. I ain't gonna lie. See?
Yeah. That's the point. So one last question, and just a Chicago-based question. Okay. Obviously, I know. Chicago's known for its deep dish. We can't say anything bad about Chicago deep dish. I want your top 3 places to get Chicago deep dish.
Okay, Chicago deep dish. Obviously, you have to go to Giordano's. Giordano's for sure. One thing I'm gonna say about Chicago is this. Even though I'm trying to get too off topic. Chicago is the one place where you can find the best version of every cultural food it is to the world. Anything, Indian food, Chinese, anything. Chicago will have the best version of it. You just got to find a restaurant. I was saying Chicago food is fire, but Giordano's, Gio's East, and deep dish. It's really just them two. Mm-hmm. Really, if next you go find like one of the nice little local spots, but for me, if you're just going for pizza, I'll go a Home Run Inn or a what's the name? Not Mama Luna's. Becca's decent too. Becca's pizza.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say Becca's. A lot of people talk about
Becca's. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. So listen, SB, I appreciate you sitting down doing this with us. And again, man, this is not gonna be the last time we do this because we got the Chargers mock draft roundtable coming up.
Yeah, so I'm definitely.
We got to definitely have you on with some other Chargers fans. Hopefully, we can find them. But we got some other Chargers fans and do the mock draft roundtable. Let y'all chop it up and debate it on, who you think the Chargers should be taking, in the upcoming draft. But again, want to thank everybody for watching. Please. If you haven't already, please do not forget to subscribe to SB Talk Sports 1. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's got some really good content. Got some interesting takes on some things, but I hope yourself. But no, I appreciate you joining us, and again, just want to thank everyone for watching. And if you haven't already, please do not forget to like, click, and subscribe to U3 Sports Talk, and also please follow us on social media. At U3 Sports Talk on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Until next time, we thank you all, and we are out.